Stop everything you're doing. The January transfer market has just been hit by a real earthquake, and the epicenter is Anfield. When many believed Liverpool would go through the winter without signings, an unexpected opportunity emerged. The club has received the green light for an emergency signing of one of the most dominant strikers in the Premier League, a move that could save Arne Slot's season. The decision was accelerated by the serious injury suffered by Alexander Isak, who fractured his leg and is out for the remainder of the season, with a risk of also missing the start of the next one. The absence of the Swede has opened a huge gap in Liverpool's attack, increasing the urgency for a player with finishing power, physical presence, and the ability to decide big matches. That is exactly where the name shocking the fan base comes in: Jean-Philippe Mateta. And why Mateta? Because we are talking about a true physical monster of the Premier League. Jean-Philippe Mateta is not just another striker. Standing at 1.92 meters tall, he's a constant nightmare for any defender. This season, even playing for a mid-table Crystal Palace side, he has already scored 10 goals, numbers that stand out given the context. Now, imagine this Frenchman receiving passes from Salah, McAllister, and Szoboszlai with space, volume of play, and constant attacking pressure. The impact would be immediate. At 28 years old, Mateta is in the peak of his physical condition and brings qualities Liverpool have been missing for some time: aggression inside the box, aerial strength, the ability to shield the ball and to finish under pressure. He's quick for his size and extremely difficult to mark. Behind-the-scenes information indicates that Mateta himself has officially informed Crystal Palace that he wants to leave immediately. He rejected offers from Saudi Arabia because he wants to shine at a European giant, and at this moment, Liverpool appears as his preferred destination. This is where the cold, surgical strategy of Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes comes into play. They do not spend money on impulse. They target market opportunities. Mateta has only 18 months left on his contract, and Palace are in a delicate situation. Either they sell now for a fee considered fair, or they risk losing the player for much less in the future. Juventus and Aston Villa are trying to hijack the deal, but Liverpool have a decisive trump card: the immediate need created by Isak's injury. The club needs a ready-made, experienced replacement who can deliver results from the very first game. Mateta could partner or rotate with Hugo Ekitike, providing squad depth and security to fight for titles without fear of further injuries. This is exactly the kind of opportunistic signing Liverpool tend to complete when the market least expects it. And at any moment, this deal could be officially announced. And the moves do not stop there. While Mateta's name advances behind the scenes, internal sources confirm that Liverpool have also received the green light to invest in defender Nico Schlotterbeck. In addition, a deal worth around $26 million for a Brazilian midfielder is being quietly worked on. FSG have finally realized that for Arne Slot to compete at the highest level, he needs proper squad depth. The transfer deadline is approaching, just over a week remains, and the atmosphere at Anfield is pure adrenaline. Now, the question is for you, the fan. Is Jean-Philippe Mateta the ideal replacement for Alexander Isak? Does he have what it takes to wear Liverpool's number 9 shirt and decide big games? Or would you prefer the club to invest that money in another name? Stop everything! A real bomb has just exploded in the transfer market, and the target is a direct attack on Manchester United. Liverpool have emerged as the clear favorites to sign one of the biggest jewels of the Premier League, Adam Wharton. We are talking about a sensational operation valued at 75 million euros, shaking the corridors of Anfield and causing tension at Old Trafford. FSG have finally given the green light to what could be the biggest hijack of the window, and the details of this deal have surprised even the most optimistic observers. At just 21 years old, Adam Wharton has been enjoying a meteoric rise in English football. Since leaving Blackburn Rovers to join Crystal Palace, he has not only adapted to the highest level, but has begun to dominate midfields with personality. His remarkable calm on the ball, refined vision, and tactical intelligence have quickly turned him into one of the most complete midfielders in the Premier League. Unsurprisingly, Wharton has already earned a place in the England senior squad and is seen by many as the next great brain of English football. Internally, Liverpool view him as a top-tier signing, the perfect piece to elevate the midfield and put the club back at the top of European football. The battle for the player has intensified. Manchester United had identified Wharton as an absolute priority, seeing him as the ideal successor to Casemiro in the medium term. Tottenham, meanwhile, had been making discreet inquiries, trying to move under the radar to surprise their rivals. However, according to recent information from Spanish outlet Fichejas and transfer correspondent Fraser Fletcher, Liverpool have taken the lead in the race. Wharton is said to have been impressed by the solid, long-term project presented by the Reds, something that weighed heavily in his assessment. While United face instability and Spurs hesitate, Liverpool are moving with strategy and precision, ready to snatch the dream player directly from their rivals' hands. Crystal Palace have ruled out any negotiation for Adam Wharton in the January window, having already lost Mark Guéhi and unwilling to weaken the squad mid-season. For the European summer, however, the price is set at £65 million, around 75 million euros. Liverpool are closely monitoring the situation, laying the groundwork for a deal and aiming to move early before competition increases the price, despite interest from Real Madrid and Chelsea. Manchester United fear losing Wharton to rivals and are considering alternatives such as Elliot Anderson, but Liverpool have no backup plan. The club is fully focused on Wharton, viewing him as the ideal long-term midfield leader and a perfect fit alongside Szoboszlai and McAllister for the next decade. Now, the question is for you, the fan. Is Adam Wharton worth a €75 million investment? Is he the right player to carry Liverpool's midfield for the next 10 years? Or would you bet on another name? Leave your comment. The atmosphere at Anfield is one of total tension. Fear is back. Many fans still remember with anger what happened when Real Madrid took Trent for next to nothing, and now Liverpool risk living through a new nightmare. Konate has an ambitious plan for his next contract, and the demands are considered enormous. The board faces a clear ultimatum: either FSG open the checkbook now, or the club seriously risks losing its main center-back without receiving a single penny. The figures involved are already circulating behind the scenes and are enough to shock even experienced executives. According to information from the newspaper Marca, Konate does want to stay at Liverpool, but not at any cost. He wants to be treated as a world-class centre-back and is demanding a salary in line with the biggest names in the Premier League. For comparison, Virgil van Dijk earns around £350,000 per week, while Mark Guéhi, recently signed by Manchester City, is close to £300,000. Konate wants to enter that same salary bracket. He knows that if there is no agreement, he can leave for free in July and still secure a massive signing bonus at any European giant. The danger increases with strong interest from Real Madrid, who are closely monitoring Konate and are known for waiting until contracts expire before making a move. Bayern Munich and PSG are also on alert. Liverpool know that losing the defender would be a devastating blow, especially after already losing Mark Guéhi to Manchester City, and would be forced to spend much more to replace his level, with names like Nico Schlotterbeck potentially costing double. Behind the scenes, Richard Hughes and Arne Slot are holding days of intense meetings to decide the player's future. The plan presented by Konate involves a long-term contract, possibly 5 or 6 years, ensuring defensive stability for a long time. However, the total cost of this deal easily exceeds the £100 million mark over the length of the contract. It is the biggest financial dilemma Liverpool will face in 2026. Is it worth turning Konate into the most expensive defender in the club's history to avoid a new Trent-like case? Or is it better to accept his departure and rebuild? The situation is critical, and time is working against Liverpool. Other clubs are already preparing to act as soon as Konate is free to sign a pre-contract. The debate is open among fans. Does Konate deserve to earn the same as Van Dijk? Would you pay £350,000 per week to keep the number 5, or would you let him go to invest in new names? This is the kind of decision that can define the club's future for years to come, and the answer needs to come quickly, before it is too late. Thank you very much for watching until the end. See you next time.